I am 26. My fiance is 27. We have dated for 5 years and we're going to be married next month. She is truly a sweetheart and we both support each other on anything and everything. We've both had our occasional arguments, as you can expect in a relationship. Nothing is perfect, but in general, our relationship is very, very sound. To the fact that we're going to pledge our lives, our intimacy, our exclusivity to one another for the rest of our lives. A month before our marriage, though, she said that she wants to know if it would be okay with her celebrating her last days before being married by having sex with multiple people. Those are grounds for dismissal. I'm calling off the wedding, sweetheart. I'm sorry, there's no way this is happening. You have just shown your real cards. I know who you are now and you cannot take this back. This is absolutely apparent behavior. The stories like this, they make me despair. They really make me despair about the culture that we are in now. And to be honest, you know what it is? I think a large part of this is a consequence of the culture that we live in nowadays. It's the environment. It's the environment that's saturated with this kind of material. I want to know what you guys think about this. I reckon she's around single friends. This is actually a very, very dangerous combination. I very recently realized actually, if your friends are generally in relationships, right? You want to be consistent with the kind of people that you are around. So you're typically going to look for a relationship, or you're going to, what would you say, hold on to your relationship subconsciously more than you consciously think you would. So it's really important for me to delineate there. You're not consciously thinking about it. It's, oh, you're going to have a drink, or you're going to go out with the guys. They're all in relationships. You're not going to do anything that's particularly outlandish, right? But if you're a woman, let's say, and you're about to get married, I bet a considerable amount of money that she's probably with friends who are single, who are telling her, don't you get your hall pass before, you lock yourself up and have the same genitalia for the rest of your life. Go out and celebrate, go out and find some different genitalia. 100% that is the reason. I hope it's the reason. I don't want to think that she's coming to this by her own fruition, by her own kind of volition. I had suspicions of her wanting to have sex with her co-worker in the past, and I'm worried she will use it to do so. This is one of the truths of female nature, that they always have backups, they always have options. Even if you're in a relationship, they have in the back of their mind options in terms of individuals that are orbiting around them, typically in the workspace setting, that they are thinking, if things don't work out with so-and-so, this individual is going to be my next safety net. I told her no, but she was upset. And she said that relationships are only locked down after marriage. Oh my goodness me. She has already cheated on you. She's already done that. If she said that, that is her washing her hands and absolving herself of all kind of responsibility, all kind of accountability. And we know that's the divisive word that a lot of women don't like to hear. Accountability for your actions. I again told her the hall pass isn't happening, but then she slammed the door in my face and went to her room. Is that an admission of guilt already? I think it might be. I think it just might be. How do I get her to not use a hall pass, gentlemen? You don't. You know what you do? You take your belongings out the house. You pack things up, right? Make a nice little, make a show of it. Or even better, pack her stuff up and say, right, this is done. We are done. I'm washing my hands of, you've probably already been unfaithful to me. There is absolutely no way that we can build our marriage on this rocky foundation of lies, on this rocky foundation of deceit, this rocky foundation of promiscuity, of lust, of debauchery. This is not consistent with the spiritual ideal of marriage, the integrity, the exclusivity of intimacy between man and woman. You're not a part of this. This world is not for you. You're for the world that, is more commonly and classically described as the streets. There is even a little update here. I confronted her. She tries to convince me to let her use the hall pass, and then we can discuss it in therapy. Let me make my mistakes, and then let's try and fix it together. Oh my goodness gracious me. Ended up breaking up and told our families. Excellent stuff, gentlemen. They were shocked and disappointed in her. I bet they were. I hope they were. You know, there's this thing in modern Western culture. We shouldn't shame Joseph. You shouldn't shame people. I disagree. I think shame is very, very good. It is a tool. It is an emotion that's very, very real in the world, and it has excellent utility because it forces people to change their behavior. Without shame, you cannot force yourself. I've had shame thrust upon me before, by the way. I've been locked up in a mental health hospital because I was spiked by some drugs, and I was actually arrested naked in my library, in my university library. So somewhere out there in the ether of the smartphones is my genitalia swinging very freely and loosely and open for the whole world to see, and I have still a tremendous amount of shame with it. I understand that I can't undo the past, and it's just something I have to live with, but I have never touched drugs since. I know I can't handle it. I know I cannot take that risk, and it forced me to change my behavior. I would not be speaking to you here if I did not have shame about that particular incident in my life. And equally, this individual needs to feel the crushing compression and darkness of shame in order for her to change. It's a harsh truth. It's a red pill truth. I know that particular verbiage has been diluted and polluted and is not consistent. What I mean by that is that it's an inconvenient truth. It's a harsh truth. It's not a comforting lie. It's a harsh truth. It's the harsh truth that the women in your lives that are making these kinds of decisions, you need to allow God to work through you and experience that emotion of shame. Because in his greater plan and in the universe greater plan, it's going to be the conduit to mold them into a greater character. Think about the admonitions you've had in your life. Similar to me, I had to have that experience. I had to have that lower negative emotion. I had to experience shame, guilt, anger, all of those harsh, crushing emotions for me to... You can't make diamonds without pressure. You need that pressure. And I know that sounds terribly cliche, but it is terribly accurate as well. Curious what everybody else is saying here. Don't marry her. I concur, my friend. People who want to get married are usually excited about spending the rest of their lives with the person they're with. 100%. That's not what it sounds like for her, and she views marriage as a trap. Yes, don't get married to somebody like that. The framing is so important, and I'm really appreciated to this individual framing it or highlighting that frame. It's, oh no, we're going into something and I'm going to be stuck with you for the rest of my life. Let me have this big blow up beforehand. Let me do whatever I need to. I don't know what that was. Let me do whatever I need to do, get it out of my system, and then I will, my long watch begins, right? Watching some Game of Thrones recently. Yeah. And now my watch begins in this trap, in this marriage, in this horrible situation that I'm in. It is not consistent and congruent with this godly and divine vision of man and woman and family, nuclear family, and essentially being the bedrock of modern Western culture for something that is pure, something that is aspirational, and something that is very, very strong and inspirational because you are reflective of that kind of like heavenly state of union. This individual was saying exactly this. I would never ask the man I'm in love with, I'm planning to marry for a hall pass. If I wanted to have sex with other men, I wouldn't be in a relationship, let alone agreeing to marry somebody in the first place. You cannot have both things. They are not, they don't go together. They don't exist. And this individual was saying here that, yeah, this individual is going to cheat on you anyway if this didn't happen. I quite agree. Gentlemen, let me know your personal opinions. Has this ever this has never happened to me. I have never had a woman ever in my life, or even heard of somebody perhaps close to me who has asked for or been propositioned by somebody for a hall pass. It's fairly new for me, but I might be wrong. What would be your reflex here? Am I correct in thinking this? Or are there scenarios that this can be commensurate with monogamy? I mean, I don't personally think so, but I could be wrong. These aren't theories, these are facts. Speak soon.